How you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
There's going to be some change, darling dears. 6 is about wanting a harmonious relationship. This is a distant relative or a sibling, really. It could even be a neighbor's, darling dears. Whatever category this fits in for you, it's for you. The energy of Pluto, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Pluto is a generational planet, and as you already know, Pluto is about to go into Aquarius on the 20th of January, where it's about to languish for the next 19 years, darling dears. I've already put out the Pluto astrology reading. Go and check it out to see what's going on for your sun, moon, and rising, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Because it's the Pluto energy, it speaks about compulsion, darling. You feel compelled to what change. It also speaks about somebody changing their sexual practices. Maybe you're going celibate, darling dears, or changing your whole partner. It speaks about secrets, darling dears, which are about to come on top. Somebody's been indulging in possibly crime. Criminal offenses, darling dears. Criminal offenses. Hiya! Come through, Uncle Roger. Posh, clap. Yeah. As I was saying before I interrupted myself, darling dears, Pluto, it rules life and death. It also speaks about healing, darling dears. You have the power to heal any circumstance and situation from within, darling dears. You are the only cat you can change. Why? It's the only one you see when you look in the mirror. Talking about mirrors, did you see the fact that if you stand in front of the mirror with any kind of object, you put a piece of paper in front of it, when you look dead on in front of the mirror, you can't see the object. But if you look in the mirror and look down, you can see the object. How can the mirror see what's behind the paper? These are the things you need to understand, darling dears. Not everything is as it seems. Yeah. Somebody would like a harmonious relationship with you, darling dears. Gemini energy could be a sibling. I'm feeling sibling. I'm feeling strongly sibling energy. Someone who you was neighborly with, but now you've got a whole barrier. And what boundaries, darling dears? That big B you've been bandying around. The Gemini energy. The Gemini energy, the lovers, darling dears, is represented by the 3rd house. It's about your communications, your mind, the way you think. It's the air energy, darling dears. It also speaks about your social activities. The Gemini energy brings in the siblings, the neighbors, the distant relatives like aunts, uncles, and cousins. It also speaks about your early education, darling dears. Something that your siblings did possibly to you in your youth, darling dear. It's what shaped the character that you have right now. You also have the energy of the Gemini. Lean in, besties. Lean in. As I said to you before, the 3rd house, it's about distant relatives. It's about your siblings. But it's about your communications, darling dear. Somebody wants to communicate with you. But you put the bell for confirmation. I'll be right back. As I was saying, bestie, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules communication. It also speaks about a sibling, possibly a neighbor or a distant relative, wants to make a short journey, or you'll be getting communication, darling dears, toot sweet. But you have the 6. The 6 is because you've brought harmony and balance. You've made right choices, darling dears, for self. I told you the early part of your formative years, maybe even into your adult years, you decided to separate yourself from a situation. Your birthday could be the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th, or this could be a significant date for you, darling dears. Your luckiest numbers over the next few days will be 3, 6, and 9. The jester, they see you as the jester, but the jester is the smartest one in the room. Why? The jester is always underestimated, darling dears. Yeah, trust and believe. They think they are smiling and jokey. That time you've got the mind of what? A world changer, darling dears. A world changer. Why? Because you've got the ability to plan well. The 6 also is adjoined with the number 33, which is a master number, darling dears. This is about you realizing that you don't have to martyr yourself to a situation that is not for you, but you will be getting intel from a sibling or distant relative or neighbor in the next few days, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. Love it. I don't hate it. Your luckiest days will be Thursday and Sundays, and the letters F, O, and X are extremely important to you. Pluto takes 14 to 30 years to transit through each zodiac sign. I believe that whatever happened, darling dears, the hardest part for you is possibly anything between 14 and 30 years ago. All right, let's press on. We've already discussed the tarot card for the number 6, which is the Lover's Gemini energy. You made some major choices, darling dears. Somebody's got an errand to run. I'm also hearing some kind of invite, an invitation to something to do with your family members, darling dears. This is all what the Lover's energy is about. Somebody wanting you to be part of a shared experience. I think you're going to be quick thinking, Gemini energy. Thinks quick, darling dears. Good golly and gosh, what do the siblings want? Let's see. Because the 6 also speaks about losing money, darling dears. It's about you being on your guard. I think that your siblings, a neighbor or a distant relative, but I'm strongly feeling sibling. A sibling is going to try and contact you, hit you up for some form of money, a monetary situation, darling dears. They want your Skrilla.com. Hey! All right, let's dive a little deeper. I'm going to use my black intuitive cards. Messages around the sibling that wants to get in contact. We will need some Skrilla. This is it'll be a loss for you, darling dears, whether you can afford it or not. 12th house, this is what? Hidden enemy, darling dears. Yeah, they don't want to talk about nothing that they did to you in the past, darling dears. Good golly and gosh, the 12th house, Neptune and Pisces energy, darling dears. It speaks into the healing and the closure you've given to a situation. Yeah, these people, this sibling took a gamble and a risk in your life, darling dears. Yeah, they also don't, as I said, they don't want to speak about anything they did unto you in the past. Lover's energy again, we just discussed it. Listen, I can't make it up. This is why you got to pay attention, bestie. We already got the 6 on the dice, darling dears, and here it is again. Gebo energy. It speaks about personal relationships, right? Gebo, if you're going by the runes, it speaks about your personal relationships, and you was a gift in this relationship with your sibling, darling dears. They took a gamble and a risk on you, but you made a major choice. I think you chose you in a situation. Good golly and gosh. All right. Look at this. From the 12th house to the 6th houses. So it's the multiples of 6. 6 and 12 goes to 18. Moon energy is skullduggery, darling dears. This is a fakeazoid friend. Yeah. A lying, cheating hoodwinker. Yeah. A full-on hairline taker. This sibling is lonely in their relationships that they have. They're possibly looking at the bad energy or the deception that is around them, not realizing that they are the common denominator. Yep. They would like to create some kind of a new cycle with you. Moon energy, Cancer, as well as Pisces energy. But you're a poet. 9th house, darling dears, in the reverse. You're not going to want no expansion, darling dears. 9th house is Jupiter energy. It also speaks about the Skrilla.com. You've got nothing to give the public. The public being your sibling. Whoa, child, let me tell you something. This person's tricky. The 12th house is about your spirituality or your religion, darling dears. You took a gamble and a risk and made a choice, darling dears. What? To go on this expansive, transformative journey. Transformative from the Pluto energy. By yourself, solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole, darling dears. Yes, you did. What's this trying to face out, right? And you grounded yourself. You know who you are, bestie. You know what you bring to any tableau. And you remember what these siblings or sibling did to you, darling. Is you have the memory of an elephant. Just like the elephant in India that murked that lady twice. Remember I tell you about this all of the time, bestie. Oi! Hey, hey! You remember and you've grounded yourself. You know what? You know how you ground yourself? And get out of the DNS. Had to look over my right shoulder because I'm the red light, green light champion of 79. How you ground yourself, darling dears, is by understanding as you continue in life. You will have some form of pain, darling dears, but this is new pain that you have with the 2020. You know how to not necessarily circumvent, but cut and go through. Feel that pain and still carry on, knowing that, you know, it didn't take away your essence, your soul. But this is past pain. Why would you want to rehash the past pain? Because when you look back, darling dears, you realize it was really effed up. It was a full-on what? WTF. Because it went on between 14 and 30 years, darling dears. The 14 and the 30 goes to 44. You may have been 44 when you tried to release yourself from the situation or began the realization of the situation. Or it could be when your awakening started. You wasn't able to share any of this spiritual, this new information, these new downloads with your siblings, darling dears. They took a gamble and a risk. How did they do that? Possibly laughed in your face, gossip behind your back. All of the above, darling dears. This one doesn't want to come up. Yeah, hangman, you've let go of the situation. Major arcana coming up. 2 major arcana. And look, the 6 and the 12. I believe 1212 is a master number. Not 1212, an angel number, darling dears. Go and check it out. 1212 and 612 and 126. Go and check out all of these angel numbers, darling dears. It's messages for you. So we've got 1212, or 1221, 126 and 612. Go and look up those angel numbers, darling dears. No longer sacrificing yourself to the situation. You realize that you are on a journey, darling dears. It's not where you come from, darling dears. It's where you're going. And every time I tell you this, I mean it from my heart, from the inside. Where you are right now, bestie, is not your final destination. Know this to your core and keep going. Abraham Lincoln told us, don't look back. Eleanor Roosevelt said, go so far you can't hear the critiques. Yeah, keep going, right? They can't police you, darling dears. They can't oppress you. They can't lock you down with their ideas, their words, their passive-aggressive actions, darling dears. Heinous gossipers, darling dears. They're all fire starters. This sibling or siblings. Well, now, oh, look what I've got. My son gave me some fruit punch today, darling dears. Oh, my God. I wouldn't normally drink it, darling dears, but it's fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Why wouldn't I normally drink it? Let me show you. Because when I go and do my shopping, darling dears, not only have I got my glasses of truth on, I've got my magnifying glass, right? And it's got a light, so I don't miss a thing, right? Yes. And I'm usually reading the labels. But I'm telling you, sometimes you drink some stuff like, I'm not going to read the box. Forgive me, temple. I'm talking to my body. Forgive me, I'm not going to read the box because this taste is real good. This taste is good. It reminds me of summer days. It reminds me of when I lived in America. Yes, I did. From the ages of 6 till 8.5, going on 9. in New York at, we was living at Prospect Place. I believe that's in Crown Heights. Yes, yes, yes. New York! Yeah, I was there, darling dears. Anyhow, let me see if I can get back into the back. The devil's a lie. It bounced off the core ball, which I will soon be doing. But anyhow, let's carry on, darling dears. You've already grounded yourself. You are on your spiritual path, this new beginning. The 12th house speaks about you having closed out this particular cycle. The 12th house is also the house of karma, and it's also the afterlife. Somebody's decided they're not coming back. Blood. The afterlife could also speak about the death, because the 12th house is about death. Something around your siblings, there's death. This is an ending, hangman. Yeah, someone's not coming back. Grounding. It could also speak about a burial, darling dears. Yeah. These people used to police you until you know who you are. You knew who you are. You found out. You woke up, darling dears. You decided to do the what? Chrissy, wake up. I don't like this. Yeah, you didn't like it. You didn't like the feeling that it gave you being around this sibling or siblings. All right. We've gone with the black ones. Let's get some white ones out. Any more messages before we press on? Yeah, you leveled up on your siblings, darling. There's bitches and mitches. Yeah, you came to a fork in the road and you decided to take your own path into the undergrowth, right? You've got mental clarity. The cards are telling you to what? Play possum. If they try to contact you, pretend you're dead, darling dears. I don't mean literally, but good golly and gosh. Play possum. You've got the mental clarity. You know what's going on. We already understood Mercury energy is all up and in this reading, darling dears. You're using your intellect, your cognitive dissonance. That they try to what? Continue with, darling dears. Nah, mate, you know what's going on. It's not for you. You know they're an energy vampire. They come with their sucker pads to bring you down, Bobby Brown. And they've been watching you all along, possibly online. Or maybe there's a merchant of slander still in your hemisphere. Run tell that, darling dears. Or maybe you left your social media open. Well, they've got to have something to watch, darling dears. Something to attain to. Energy vampire, they're watching you, darling dears. If you've got something going on online, you've got some kind of business, they're watching. They're the silent watcher. These sibling or siblings, they're watching your every move. They don't understand how you gain this new spiritual enlightenment, this new perspective. They know that you've been through situations where it involved confinement, the hospital, darling dears, hangman, hospital, prison, and even what? An unaliving attempt. You attempted that? Listen, I'm a pointer, not a picker, darling dears. At the ending of the day, until you know, you go for a lot of what? Trouble and strife. Let's ring the bell to get rid of that negative energy of unalivation of self. Final card. Yeah. All you do is win, darling dears. As they're watching with their what? Hillbilly investigations, darling dears. Waiting for you to fail. These siblings want to come in for your point, your skrilla. Pentacles could also represent something tangible. Maybe you've got a new home, car, career, a new business, a new job. Your health is on the up and up. Well, they don't know what your health is like. Why? Because they're looking outside the perimeter, darling dears. These siblings are on the rocks of the spiritual rocks of life, darling dears. The rocks of life, these blown out and run throughs. You have the mental clarity. You remember what happened, but you don't live in what happened in the past. That past energy is defunct. Focusing it on again will only be rearing up its ugly head. Pardon me, that's a spiritual belch because I speaks the truth. Roof, pinkies up. Yeah, you leveled up on a bitch or Mitch, darling dears, and they don't like it. 9th house, no expansion, darling dears. This speaks about you because the 9th house is also about journeying, foreign travel, darling dears. People from they're from a different culture, darling dears. You are a soldier of the light, and they come straight from the crevice of the devil's balls. All they did was take gambles and risks on you because they believed you'd stay around these siblings, right? They believed that you'd be loyal to the end, like Chucky. Well, guess what? Chucky killed off all his friends, right? Ha ha! He did! I'm not making it up, he did! Right? Anyhow, let's press on. Let's see what your Oracle Ancestral messages. Let's get a quick deck. Here. What's the Oracle Ancestral message for the big cats? For the siblings that can't police their life anymore. This authoritative what regime is no more, darling dears. The only person they're policing is their self and each other. Energy vampires amongst energy vampires, darling dears. Fakeazoid, you leveled up. You are no longer at the fork in the road. Whatever they did to you before in the past, they can't do it again, darling dears. Why? Because you're not giving up your energy. You are the one with the power grid. You're not going to allow them crimes. What did I say? Your spiritual awakening, darling dears. You grounded thyself. You see things from a different perspective. You let go. There's no martyrdom can be found around you. And somebody's also taken atonement for wanting to unalive themselves. But, baby, thank God, it didn't work. Why? You are the God's most strongest soldier. You are one of the chosen, darling dears. When you did you have any real support from your siblings? Your family members, distant or near? You didn't. You would have just been a footnote in history. The divine had bigger plans for you, darling dears. Bigger plans that you must carry out with wisdom and dignity. Yeah. You're already cleansed, darling dears. And it also speaks about spiritual attacks. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Yeah, dark energy, darling dears, that's coming in. You see the star quality, and look, the stars come from them, right, onto you. They're watching you, darling dears. What? Rise up, level up, get up, all of the above, darling dears. They're looking for a handout, some kind of a loan, some kind of depletion on your tangible energies. This could be your home, car, career, your money, your what? Solid ideas. Maybe they want to know and move how you moved. What did you do on your spiritual awakening? Because now they want to be on your gang. Their intention is not good, darling dears. It's not good. Remember, I told you that. Just saw 1818 on the counter. We already spoke about the moon and the shade from the Scuzz Bucket siblings. Yeah, they want to come in your life and be crumb snatchers. Anything you have fallen off your plate, they'll take it and run with it, darling dears. They come to create power struggles, right? But they don't understand you've already forgiven them. You're on a new chapter full of rebirth and evolution, which was unavoidable. Why? You didn't like being a thumber. That's why. You didn't like being a thumber. Yes, bestie, as I was saying, you leveled up in some way, shape or form. Could be coming to a new spiritual understanding of self, darling dears. Letting the shackles fall off so you could dance. Come through merry, merry. Posh clap. The intention for you is not good, darling dears. They don't mean you well. They wish you what? Wickedness. They wish you to be with no head, no lace fronts, darling dears. Yes. Not even the synthetic, but they don't wish you well. Right? There's no unity. This is conflicts and confusion, darling dears. Candle in the... When you see a candle reversed, there's no flame of passion. There's no flame of love for you in a situation. Look at this. Somebody has definitely passed in your family, darling dear. Someone has become an ancestor, but the reason why it's in the reverse is because there's a lot of controversy around it, darling dears. Lots of controversy. Look at this. They've been talking about you. Let me tell you something. Your ancestors are giving the usher. Give them what? Posh clap. Tell us more. Tell us more. And they ain't got the skrilla. If you've had a passing in your family, darling dears, they haven't got the skrilla or they want yours. It's not a stable foundation. There's a lot of arguments, lots of fighting. And this relative of yours, darling dears, passed without a will. They want to come back into your summer house of what durability, darling dears. Hey, woo child. No contract, no will, darling dears. And look, the biggest pentacali of them all is on its face, and it looks like a devil head, darling dears. What did I say? They come with wicked intent. Wicked intent. Hangman. You better pause, darling dears. Right? Why would you go to a situation that you feel like a failure? It's in the reverse. You were born to win. You've already taken the L's. It's time for the W's. Let them watch. Let them salivate, darling dears. Because your energy has got a cap on it, darling dears. The cards are recommending that you play possum. Listen, somebody's going to be stuttering when they come and talk to you, darling dears. You can hear them out if you want, but you've got mental clarity. You know what's going on. They're coming for the big shakedown. Any money you invest in this, any energy, you will lose it. It'll be a waste. It'll be a waste because the intention is not right. They're going to take a gamble and a risk and try and contact you. But whether you allow it, I don't know. I don't think you will. Ninth house on its face. No expansion. No new learning, darling dears. Closed off. Grounding could also represent what? A burial, darling dears. They can't police you now. You're not begging to be in this family atmosphere. You're not. Did you just hear the seagulls? I know you can hear the birds, but I heard the seagulls in the distance. Anyway, let's press on and get a deck. Because this is outrageous. Outrageous. Yeah. There's a lot of gossip and talk about you at this moment in time. Four of Swords. It's like they're trying to see whom you will be the most receptive to, darling dears. They're trying to find a sacrificial lamb to approach your throne. What was the past situation like around this sibling or siblings? What was your past situation like? Listen, they were all together, darling dears, in solidarity. There was no good advice, darling dear, no support. They gave you no advice if you had older siblings. They gave you no direction, darling dears. There was no spiritual protection. I don't think anyone in your immediate family held a religion high or spirit. Nobody did, right? Yeah, no spirituality, darling dears. There's a lot of hot gossip about you. There's a lot of negation of the past, but it's wearing them thin. Wherever your past mistakes were, because they're now lessons for you, but they're living on that energy, darling dear. They are, yeah. When they should be focusing on their own grass, their own astroturf. A lot of mental energy is going towards you. People are speaking about your work ethic. They're saying that you'll listen, avoid them. Tower moment. Remember I told you that. It's not for you, darling dears. You're living rent-free in their mind. They're doing the double dutch of who's going to be first. There's been quite a few of them talking about you. Could be as many as 10, 8 or 2. Yeah, you're an earth angel, darling dears. You bring balance. This person put you, or people put you on a difficult journey, and you've now healed from this trauma, but they haven't healed. Yeah, you know this. Queen of Cups, she was loyal to that situation in the past, but it went nowhere. It was always toxic, darling dears. There was no advice, no guidance, no this, no that, no nothing. Yeah, that's how I sing around here. I bring in the what? The reverberations or the vibrations of me voice. It wasn't the place for you, Chariot energy, no guidance. And you've already healed from that situation. Why would you want to go back to Guantanamo Bay? You've leveled up. You're making right spiritual choices for yourself. This is why you are in the midst of your full-on awakening, or you've awakened, darling dears. Base of the deck, just gossip, lies, and skullduggery. And they're also coming through secrets. This is 3 major arcana. Divine has stepped in, darling dears. 5 of Wands on its face. They're gonna act like they don't want to fight. They just want to talk. But it's a lie. Queen of Wands on its face. They're Iccubi and Succubi, Jezebel spirits. Right? It's a difficult... Listen, they've got to eat shit in order to come and speak to you, darling dears. It's like somebody's demanding a pound of flesh. Don't give up the flesh. Keep your pound and stay over there. Yeah. What did I say? They feel that they may have some form of control over you, but they can't police you anymore. High Priestess, third eye on them bitches and mitches, darling dears. You already have their file, which is a see-through pamphlet. Look what's underneath that. You're on a new level. Something to do with a marriage and a partnership. Maybe you had a marriage and partnership. Yeah. Yep, throat chakra. They want to come and speak to you. Well, guess what? Rejection is redirection, yeah? They need to live with that. And all of that wicked intent they want to come with. Look at this. Return that shiznai to the sender. Hey, hey! Ooh, child. Keep that on top to remind you of what's going on. Yeah, all they did was take from you, darling dears. No spiritual guidance, no nothing. But the group always looked back on what you was doing. You was nothing but hot gossip to them in the past. Hot gossip, but no guidance. No camaraderie. Not with you, darling dears. Why? Because you're a big cat. And black sheep is aka light bringer. You are the bringer of the light. So they want some money, possibly to do with a passing of a family member. Yep, that's the truth. But you've already turned your back on that toxic situation. You know this. I told you they're going to be meek and mild, trying to get some Skrilla up out of you. Ace of Wands. Look, all of these wands and this fire energy, darling dears. Definitely is about action being taken towards you. They see you as being strong-willed. They see you as achieving, darling dears. Wands is about your work as well, darling dears. Spiritually as well as physically. Yeah, this is why they want to come back. They want to see if they can run game on you again, darling dears. Why? Because you're winning. A burglar won't break into an empty house. You're doing well, darling dears. They're watching you online. It also speaks about what? Generational curse breaker. This goes to 10 of Pentacles, darling dears. Spiritually strong. Strength card is telling you to avoid the drama. You're already balanced out, Earth Angel. You've learned patience. And patience doesn't mean that you have to take anything from these pages. Pages are also representative of siblings. You've already made a difficult decision, right? You cried the last tear, in the words of Bishop Paul Morton. Posh clap. You were stressed out, depressed. You possibly even had the PTSD. But you've all put it down. You've washed your face like David. Are they just coming back because they see Big Cat as successful? World card, yes. New beginning. 7 of Cups, they see the options that you've created for yourself, darling dear. And they are stressed out. They wanted you to be a thumber. They wanted you brown bread in the madhouse. Or what? Barking at passing cars. Yeah. They knew that you had some kind of mental issue, darling dears. From an option, some kind of choice you made in the past, but that choice you made in the past is behind you. It's over, darling dears, and you're the baddest of them all. Emperor or Empress energy. You are a parent and you're extremely nurturing, and this shows abundance. This also looks like a mic. Maybe you have a public platform, darling dears. You say it like you mean it. Listen. And you're a happiness expert to boot, darling dear. You put the past behind you like a ponytail. This is what the brick wall represents, darling dears. Focused on your progeny and yourself and your life. 10-10, you've had a breakthrough. Good God, you ain't going back to the what? This sibling or siblings who are narcissists, darling dears, who get a hard-on for you because they want to bring you down. They want to bring you down. They don't love you, darling dears. They come in judgment of you. 2 kings in the reverse means what? The business ain't going good. They ain't got them Skrillas, darling dears. They need the money for some kind of a situation. Or they just want your money. They want you to be involved. Is that right? Listen, they don't love you. They don't like you. And it also speaks about you having no more relations with them, this sibling, because they're bitter. They're bitter. One of your siblings, I said one of your, oh, so you've got more than one. Someone's just had recent operation or they're about to have an operation, darling dears. It's not going to go well. They're bitter, twisted, gossiping, and it's Hate, envy, and spite, darling dears. They didn't expect you to get back up as the big cat. Imagine that. They wanted you to stay in the land of the blind and be blind with them. Then you'd fit right in. You was never meant to fit that cut, darling dears. You was meant to learn the lesson and break free. Go and watch my, oh, what's that? What video was it? Is it the one about a person of interest? I believe it's that one or the one before that. They're all date stamped, darling dears. Yeah. You're the baddest of them all. You learn to nurture thyself, darling dears. Put yourself first. These ones will try and court attention at all costs. Law number 6 of the 48 laws of power. But not from you, darling dears. They must get dust. Pay them dust. This is no loyalty, no skrillers, no attention, no nothing. Right? No loyalty to them. Because if you do, remember, you will get their karma. This is all of the wickedness, the negative thoughts, the hot gossip, any morsel you dare give off in their presence, darling dears. It's going to go round. What did I say? They just want to look for something to bring you down. All of this sword energy is a lot of hot talking, darling dears. That's all they want to do is bring you down, but you have the mental clarity. You're no longer sitting on the fence. And what they did to you was what? Criminal offense. Come through. Uncle Roger. Again. Posh clap. You've already toe tagged the situation. Going back to the toe taggation of it all. Somebody's passed your situation, darling dear. Yeah, I don't think you'll be going to that funeral. Nope. You've got a better idea because it's a healthy choice that you'll be making, darling dears. Emperor, boss upness, standing in your authority against those that are what? Obsessively jealous, darling dears. This sibling or siblings. They're jealous of the freedom that you've created in your life and in your mind. And the fact that you couldn't give a good golly or a gosh about going back to the past. Because you know it's liars. And the secrets have secrets, darling dears. They're not going to tell you everything, the full story of any situation. They expect you to smile and nod. Well, them days are over, blood. Look what happened the last time you were smiling and nodding. Didn't they have your psychological password, bestie? Didn't they? They need to recognize that you roll with the 6 G's. That's God, goals, gifts, greatness, growth, and goals. And gratitude. I was counting silently. I'm telling you. Yeah, what's the Latin words? Vini, vidi, vici. It means you came, you saw, and you conquered, and you're off to something else, darling dears. You've moved on. What did I say? They've been watching you online. They're watching you get elevated. This is recognized or even uplifted by others. You may have a platform, darling dears, or a business. You're appreciated as a master crafts person in your field. This is also the marriage card, darling dears. Yeah, they're also talking about the marriage. You may have a past marriage or be involved with someone who is a narcissist, a waste of time, somebody who gambled on you, darling dears. This is somebody that abused you mentally, financially. Yes. Someone that had your hairline. They're talking about that, darling dear. Yes, they are. Queen of Wands. They didn't expect you to plan, plot, and strategize and use your intuition to get out of that situation, right? And you don't look like what you've been through. The Queen of Wands is someone who is nurturing, but you've learned to what? Nurture those that nurture you. Yeah, how about reciprocation, yeah? Something that they couldn't even spell, let alone backwards. Listen, they come with a cup of a page and it's a lion cup. This is someone who's emotionally manipulative, darling dears. And something that they did to you from when you was a young age. Page energy. Yes, you know this. That was part of your healing. You had to heal the past wounds that this sibling or siblings did to you. You did. And they're not. And again, the cards don't lie. That's all they can rinse and repeat. Some past situation that you was in, darling dear. That wasn't good. Where is that person? They're gone too. Everybody gone. But no one called the police. Nope. Nothing to do with you, darling dears. You've just left them mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of the above. Yeah. Yeah. Pluto itself is currently in Capricorn, because we already had Pluto come out at the beginning of the read. Pluto's currently in Capricorn. I believe it's at about 28 degrees and 55, between 55 and 58 minutes. Right, so Pluto's in Capricorn, sudden change in your status, your reputation. Law number 5 of the 48 laws of power. You are protecting your reputation. You don't want to be around them. Your spiritual reputation. If we're going to get down to the bones of it all, you've awakened. You've washed off what no longer serves you, darling dears, and you're not going back. The devil's most strongest and diligent workers, Pennywise son or daughter, aka siblings. Yeah. Pluto in Capricorn, yeah, as I said, it's about your status, and Capricorn comes right back to what? Saturn energy, darling dears. The ruler of time. Nothing like time. Because you know, every 7 years you have a new body, darling dears. So you are healing, and it's coming in stages. Yes, you are bending the matrix. Yes, you are doing better. Why? Because you let go of the what? Energy vampires. You played possum in their life. You didn't seek no further expansion with them, darling dears, because you had to realize that you was always being the what? Martyr. They had you on the prior. They took a gamble and a risk, darling dears, with someone who was sent to bring harmony and balance to a situation. Oh well. They're your enemies, darling dears. Worse that you've leveled up and they can't do nothing. They really can't. In the upright, this is crime. In the river, they can't. Pardon me, that's a spiritual belch, because I speaks the truth. Roof. Yeah, leave them where they are, darling dears. Continue on whatever path you are, solo, dolo, but like the boys or girls on the pole, you are never alone. Call on your ancestral team for guidance and strength. Divine carries you, darling dears, carried you. When you thought it was only your footprints in the sand and there was only one set of footprints, it was because the Most High was carrying you. Why? Because you must continue to go forward. Let whatever is on the grass or the ground broken, let it stay there. Let it stay broke. It's nothing to do with you. You don't have to go back, darling dears. Spiritual guidance and all that. You're confident now. This is making what? Making visionary choices, visions into how you want your life to go, darling dears. And you've got clarity. Listen, I can't make it up. And you are like feng shuied out. There's no one arguing and fighting and giving you back tabation. Yeah, there's no back front neck tab around you. This is full on what? What you have to understand. You are God's masterpiece, Ephesians 2:10. Leave those stabbing siblings where they are and don't get involved. Play possum. You've already released the burden. Why go back again? I told you the past is the past. You don't revisit the pain. Understand that it happened. Know that you may get new pains in your life going forward, but it will be nothing what you've already overcome. Because you got the 2020. And you understand the what? Red flags of it all, darling dears. Just because they're family doesn't mean they're your friend. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks. If you'd like a personal read, please hit me up in the Gmail. All of my intel is in the description box below. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these messages with whomsoever you feel needs it. And leave a comment, darling dears, because you are the survival kit for another big cat. And as I always say, from the ashes, baby, namaste. Leave them where they are. The past is the past. They want you to pay for something. You heard the message, darling dears. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat. Big cat wave. Hey, bitch.
to guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.